What's it like RVing while fat? I'll tell you, it was the thing that I wondered about the most before I got into this lifestyle. If you haven't noticed, I am not a skinny mini. I am not fashion model thin. I am chubby, plump, heavy, round. Some might even say fat. And I love to travel. I found that flying coach can be really tight, fitting into those airplane seats, and it's kind of a stress. My weight has gone up and down over the years. I've been a lot smaller. I've been bigger than this. I'm somewhere in between right now. And my husband is also a bigger guy. And so when I started out into this lifestyle, I knew that things were smaller, and that we're traveling and stuff. And I was really worried that it would be like flying coach on an airplane. It'd be that level. We actually lived for 2 years full-time on the road. We've recently become part-timers. We're in a house. But I was fat before I hit the road, and I've been dieting and getting exercise on the trip the whole time after a brief time of vacation eating mode as we transition to full-time RV life. But I obviously still have a ways to go. And one of the big questions that a lot of my friends asked, because we're in America, a lot of us are a little chunkier, was how fat-friendly RVing is. I have not seen this video on YouTube, and it was the #1 thing that I wondered before I did it, so I thought I would sit down and be honest with you all today and give you the 411. Okay, so the first thing, how tight is the actual RV? Is it fat-friendly? So RVs are small, they have less space. They're tight for thin people, they're also tight for fat people. I can tell you that it really isn't that much worse for thin people than it is for fat people. One of my really good friends in Texas is rail thin. She just naturally got that going on. And she also lives in an RV, and we had similar issues. My RV is actually smaller than hers. It's a 32-foot Class C. She's in a fifth wheel. It's tight for both of us. You don't have a lot of storage room, but we were both very comfortable in our respective situations. It is nowhere near as bad as flying coach on an airplane. Even in, a mid-sized RV, even at a Rubenesque weight, not uncomfy. I had no problem with it, even with the slide-in. It was really, really comfy. It was kind of like a regular road trip. Now, for me, one of the weird body challenges was that our bed is up, because underneath there are the freshwater tank and some, like the circuit breaker and some other bibs and bobs, some storage underneath, and they put our bed up in the air and then put that all underneath the bed. So I am 5'5". I'm sort of average height for a woman. Justin is 6'1", 6'2", something like that. He's just tall. He's a lot taller than I am. I have got short little legs. So I have a stepping stool that I would fold up when we travel, but I would have to keep it by the bed, and I'd have to use a stool to get up on the bed and then just kind of do this weird maneuver like I'm in a spy movie, like things are exploding, to jump in. So that was spicy. That was probably the most uncomfortable thing for me with all of our RV life. Our actual toilet, people talk about this a lot. There's a great channel called Matt's RV Reviews, and he talks a lot about the prime pooping position. And that means when you sit on the toilet, can you spread your legs out and all that? Can you be comfortable, or are you just like in some weird corner? We picked a toilet that was a good position, and it was very easy. We actually had a very small shower in our RV. We sacrificed some space in the floor plan for our shower. It is a radial shower, so it's kind of that wedgy shape. And we both, by ourselves, we couldn't both get in there, but one of us could get in there and we could turn around without touching the taps, even though, we got our bellies and I got my bum. So even with the radial shower, I could get in there, I could turn around. It actually took me a little while to get used to it because I am claustrophobic. The first few weeks we were doing RVing, I was showering at the campground bathrooms. A lot of them have like shower houses. So I would go in there, I shower in those because I'd get like really freaked out. But I think one day I was really busy and I was like, heck with it. And I just went in and I showered and no problem. I got used to it. I did that for 2 years, showering in that little shower. We actually, in the name of cleanliness, Justin had modified our toilet to put a bidet to make sure we were nice and clean with that. We had a nice shower head that was upgraded because even though our shower was small, we wanted to have good water flow. So that was good. We had plenty of room, could move past each other when we were sitting on the couch, that sort of thing. Comfy on travel days. Okay, so one way that RVing and traveling full-time was different as a fat person. I just wanted to mention this because I think you should bear it in mind if you're dreaming about this and you are a big lady or a big gent, a big person, is that you do run into some issues, but they are the same issues that you run into just generally traveling and being fat. So, for example, you'll be somewhere and you'll want to do a fun activity, let's say horseback riding. It's a good example. You'll be still exceeding the weight limit for that activity, and you won't be able to go horseback riding, kayaking, certain activities. If there's a weight limit for it, that's going to be an issue. For me, I was used to that anyway. It's a bummer, but there's always something to do that you can do, especially if you're in reasonably good health. I am a big lady, but I'm also very active, which kind of freaks people out sometimes. It's like, you're in your early 40s, you're a big lady, and you're active. It's like, yes, I am. Couch potato and big person are different things. There can be some overlap there, but there can be skinny people who aren't active at all, and there can be big people who are. So I've actually been on a lot of cool hikes. Probably my favorite was when we went to Zion. When we were in Zion, we did Kayenta Trail. So it wasn't Angel's Landing or anything like that. That had a waiting list. We were not on the waiting list. Zion was mobbed that day. But we went on the Kayenta Trail, which was a good challenging hike for us. Justin and I both went out together, and we got all the way up, and we were on the cliffside. We went down to like the pools and everything, but we could see so much from up there. It was so cool. It was so beautiful. That was probably my favorite hike that we did, was that one at Zion. We also did some walks in Yellowstone, around some of the hot springs. I really liked White Sands National Park. We kind of walked through the dunes. That was super cool. And part of what I did when I was on the road is I made a point to actually walk a lot around the RV parks themselves, which RVing can be a very car-centric culture, right? So you're either like hauling your home around with your car, or hauling, your vacation home around with your car. You're driving a lot to go camp somewhere. So there are some gearheads who do not like walking at all that do RVing, which is interesting to me because I always think of camping and outdoorsy stuff as like granola, hiking, active, hacky sack. But no, there are people that RV that do not like walking at all. And I found it was more common to run into those people, especially as a big lady. I would often walk around just to get exercises. I would walk up and down hills. If there were hills, those were great workouts. I basically trained for Zion and some of the parks just to make sure that I would be safe because I am a big lady. I am in my 40s. People 100% looked at me funny when I was doing my hill workouts, when I was walking around. One of the things I would do is I would take my pounds and pounds and pounds of laundry and I would walk with my laundry. And actually in one park when we were in Washington State, this really cute one that was near St. Helens we stayed at for 3 weeks, the walk to the laundromat from my site was a half a mile each way. And so it was about a mile trip carrying a couple loads of laundry, 20 pounds or something. So that was a really, really good workout. I also found that because I am a bigger lady, I am a fat hiker, the other people on the trails were cheering me on. I think sometimes maybe it was a little condescending, but I was so tired and frankly exerting myself that I just said, whatever, they're being nice. And one thing we did was we were full-time for 2 years. We would, circle around. We were kind of on a 6-month loop. Every 6 months, we'd stop back in Texas where we'd been based. We would go see the doctors, do the dentist, take the cat to the vet. And that's good, I think, at any age. And obviously being heavier, we are higher risk. So, that's good too, to not skip those doctor's appointments. But honestly, anybody can have health problems regardless of weight. And specifically, being fat while YouTubing has been really interesting. Frankly, I thought it was the first thing that people would comment on. People have been really nice about it. Like, I'm clearly not a skinny mini. I had expected getting into this and doing the videos that 99% of my comments would be about how fat I am. And no, for the most part, people have been really lovely. And honestly, clearly I have a sense of humor about it. I haven't talked about it too much on the channel because it's not terribly interesting to me. I feel like there are more interesting things about me as a person and things that I like to talk about, but it's always there, So those ladders that are on the back of the RV that can get you up on the roof, they are not graded for chunky people. I think they might have a 200-pound weight capacity. Don't quote me on it. It's something low, so if you're 250, 300, like I said, my husband's tall and big, you don't want to get up on those. You run the risk of if you pull off that ladder, it'll take off part of your roof and part of your back. So what we did, the first time we needed to get on the roof when we were on the road, this is a true story, we went to a Lowe's and we found a little giant ladder. It's one that kind of folds up and we can either strap it onto the back of our ladder or it fits in the back of our Jeep really well. So whenever we need to get up on the roof, we get up on that instead so that we don't stress out our RV. We don't risk ripping that ladder off. And that is how Justin got up on the roof to, you know, clean leaves and stuff off when they'd fall in the RV, to check it out every now and then, and also to repair the AC when it broke in 103-degree weather near Big Bend in Texas when we were in the middle of nowhere in Looney Tunes town. That's how we did that. So another thing when you're RVing is you've got to worry about the weight. And that can be everything you're packing, that can be how much water you have on board, and it is the weight of the passengers. Now, there were only 2 of us, and we took a 32-foot Class C, kind of a bunk model, so pretty big for a Class C, mid-size for an RV, and we knew what we weighed, we knew what our stuff weighed, and because it was just the 2 of us adults, it worked out fine. Our RV like sleeps 10, allegedly. I would say probably, you know, 4 or 5 if you really like each other to sleep for like a weekend or something. And 2 adults lived in it well, full time for a couple of years. But we were really, really careful about how much we brought with us. You know, we prioritized mostly tools to fix things if stuff broke, precisely because we knew we were probably, you know, carrying another 100 pounds of fat, to be honest, you know, our body weight. So basically it was like another small person between the 2 of us in overweight. Make of that what you will. But yeah, I thought I would just be honest about some of the challenges and things. It's totally doable. It was really fun. We had a good time. I had a blast. But those were kind of the highlights. That's what it's like RVing full-time when you're fat. Anyway, it's been great talking to you as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.